If we change chairs, you and me.
I'm feeling fine. What are you saying? Not yet.
You could turn around and watch.
Not
Coming
yet.
to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Nacogdoches, this is the SFA Coaches Show. It's time to hear about all things SFA sports directly from the head
Put
coaches.
mayonnaise on
Tonight's
this
show
instead of
brought to
mustard.
you by
Instead of
Texas
mustard.
Farm Bureau Insurance. Protecting Texans since 1952. Cadence Bank, proud sponsor of SFA Athletics. Opportunity lives here. Bud Light, it's for the fans. Agility Insurance Services, the nation's premier FMO. And by Pilgrims Nacogdoches, official partner of SFA Athletics and Buffalo Wild Wings. Proud presenting sponsor of the SFA Coaches Show. Now, here's the voice of the Lumberjacks, Chase Merrill.
Here we go.
And welcome in everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
And welcome in everybody to the very first Coaches Show of the new season. I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited for all of SFA Athletics coming up this year.
It's going to be a fun year.
Oh, absolutely.
Welcome to the radio show.
I appreciate it. I'm super excited. And just to introduce right off our first head coach, is going to be head coach Colby Carthel, headed into your 7th season here with the SFA Lumberjacks.
Exactly.
And to kind of kick things right off, you put a bow firmly on a fall camp last week. What are some of your key takeaways from fall camp, and was this one much different than some of your previous ones?
Well, it's good to be done with fall camp. I think the guys are ready to hit somebody else. That's the one thing. You get tired of everybody knows each other's plays and blitzes and everything else, so that gets a little bit monotonous. But we got through fall camp fairly healthy, which that's the big thing. Football's a contact sport. It's injuries happen. You just you know that happens, but you don't want to get hurt in practice. No one ever wants to get hurt in practice, and so that's where just getting through the fall camp without any real major injuries, I think was a positive. And I think we had a veteran ball club coming back and retained both coordinators, and so we kind of knew what we were getting into, and being able to advance the playbook a little bit offensively and defensively, I think was fun. And watch this, veteran group, grow together a little bit closer through camp. It was a little bit different, we schedule things. Obviously, you got to deal with the heat and acclimation, and everybody talks about two-a-days. Two-a-days, that was decades ago now. No one has two-a-days anymore. I call it fantasy camp, because it's you practice 3 days, then you're off a day. Then you practice 2 days, then you're off a day. And we changed that, kind of follow a little bit more of an NFL model to help keep their legs underneath them, cut them back to usually only about 15 periods out there. So, roughly an hour and a half on the field. And that's just a good way to keep their legs underneath them, help them, stay fast and fresh through camp, where you can get kind of maybe more quality reps instead of quantity reps.
Love that. And you said bringing back a little bit of a veteran group that we're super excited to see, and I think this kind of plays a part into it. You're ranked inside the top 25 nationally in all 3 major polls. You were picked 2nd in the Southland Conference preseason poll. Several players have received preseason recognition at the national level. But going into that, how do you guys balance those outside expectations with your own expectations while trying not to get too caught up in everything that's being said around?
Yeah. Well, Chase, what does all that preseason rankings, what does that mean?
It means nothing if you haven't done it yet.
That's right. It means a whole lot of nothing. But doodly squat, as I tell the team. But, it gives people something to write about. And there are storylines, and I understand that. But it is just that. It's preseason. You've got to go out there and handle your business. And as I told the team, we were picked 2nd in the league. That's great. I just want us to do what we did last year. We exceeded expectations. Last year we were picked 5th. We finished 3rd. So if we're picked 2nd and we can exceed expectations, where would that put us?
That would put you right at the top, Coach.
That'd be a good finish. So that's our goal, is to exceed preseason expectations. Just be the best version of the 2025 Lumberjacks we can be. What that looks like at the end of the day can change, due to injuries, due to a lot of things that are maybe outside of, the player's control. And all you can do is worry about you and we got to get better each day. I've told them, we've kind of taken on the mantra all year that we're behind. We've got to work. Yes, we'd like to, finish, be competing for a conference championship when the year's over, but there's life after that too. And there's some very, very talented, well-funded, well-established, tradition-rich programs in FCS football. And that's, where we'd like to take this program. And so, we're behind. What do we got to do to get there? You better win every day. We talked about it today. After practice, let's win the first day of school. Let's win the first week and win the game on Thursday. And when I say win the game, let's be better, at 9:45 than we were at 7 o'clock when we took the field. And, if we can continue to do that throughout the year, get better each and every day, be the best version of ourselves, we're going to be, in good shape. We do have some, obviously some good players coming back and finished. We had a good year last year, finished strong, beat the, Abilene Christian, who went 2 rounds deep and beat them pretty handily with our backup quarterback. And so I think there is a bit of respect for us out there, and so now it's a matter of going out and trying to earn a little bit more.
You talk about some returning players and having that diversity. SFA only program in the country with a quarterback and a wide receiver to receive the Walter Payton Award watch list. How have you seen that unit grow from last season into the spring and now as we head into week 1?
Yeah, that's a tribute to those guys and what they were able to do last year. Calvin Harris obviously was well over 1,000-yard receiver and was All-American on a couple platforms and everything, and all-conference player. Really talented receiver, slot receiver, the best we've had, obviously since Xavier Gibson. I tell everybody, we had 4 NFL scouts here this past week, and they want to know about it. I said, listen, y'all decide if he can play or not. I'll tell you this, he's got better hands than Xavier Gibson. And I would say that if Xavier was sitting here, I think Xavier would agree to that. He's got some Calvin's just got incredible ball skills and is a real knack for getting open and route running. Sam Bidlack, he was over there. We were eating together with his family the other night, and he was talking about he's the best receiver he's played with in terms of just having a good feel for getting open. So that's a pretty good tandem. Obviously Sam and his year last year, he was leading the nation in passing efficiency. He was leading the nation in passing touchdowns through game 10 or game 9, I guess that was, when he went down with an injury. And so that was unfortunate for him. He wasn't able to finish. He was having an All-American year, and he wasn't able to finish. And obviously, we dropped, the next 2 games, and I didn't do a good job getting us ready there. But I think that respect for those guys and what they did last year is where you're seeing them on these preseason watch lists. And like I say, it's about the team. We talked about this about the 3rd day of camp. We talked about each of those guys getting that, and it means nothing. If one of them ends up winning it or having a great year, that's great. But they're only going to do that based on the other 10 guys around them playing at a very high level.
Absolutely. And, we kind of talked, like we said, lots of players coming back, but we also have some new faces coming onto the team this year that we're super excited to see. Who are we expecting that maybe is prepared to make that big impact coming this fall that's new to the program?
Everybody usually wants to talk offense, so we'll start there. There's a guy named Bugs Mortimer that's going to be a receiver for us. He's a receiver, kick returner, punt returner, and he's been very, very electric. We've had him with us since January, so he's had a good 8 months to get integrated into the team and has earned the respect of the team. He's actually was voted into a single digit, which is very rare for a mid-year transfer. So that kind of shows you what his teammates think about it. But he is electric, and he will be a fun one, I think, to keep an eye on. We returned 3 very, very talented tailbacks, and Anthony Williams, he was offensive player of the year for us back in 23. Darrell Wembley's been a 3-year starter, and then Jalen Jenkins, ended up really being RB1 there at the end of last year. So that's a good core coming back. And then we've got Richard Reese, who was 3 years ago. He's a Big 12 freshman of the year. He's not timed everybody. He may be the fastest player on the team, and he'll have a role in the backfield. He'll have a role in the kick and return game, and so he'll be one to I think keep an eye on as well. Got a couple good freshman quarterbacks, Bryson Broadway and then JT Kitna, and you may recognize that last name, Kitna. His dad is John Kidna, who was about a 14-year NFL vet, ended up transitioning to coaching, was the offense coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys at one time. Any Cowboy fans here? I mean, this is the year, isn't it?
It's always the year.
Always the year. But he'll be another good
Got
one
my root there.
to keep an eye on in the future. Defensively, got some new faces in the linebacker room that I think you'll see. Michael Woods only played about a quarter last year. He tore his ACL in the first game of the year, and so he's I guess still a true freshman. I guess called redshirt freshman now. Samaje Avery is another freshman linebacker. You'll see him do some big things this year, and then maybe in the safety room, I would have to go with Rayton Campbell. He transferred in here in January. Originally signed with Incarnate Word out of high school, and then ended up going to A&M Kingsville. Had a really good all-conference career there, and I think he'll make an impact for us at safety. So those guys are offense, defense, special teams. Got a guy, I don't even know how to say his name. It's called Paz, It's a big old Australian punter, and he has got a cannon of a leg. So I hope he doesn't play much, but when he does, I think he'll be able to make it rain.
Awesome. We're super excited. I'm excited to see some kicks.
Not punts, though, Chase.
Not punts.
Hunter.
Yeah, please stay away from those.
Extra points to kickoff.
And it's his
Punt
first
is
year
for
from
quitters.
Melbourne, Australia. The new
All right,
Australian.
we're kind of tackling the elephant in the room here. FBS opponent coming up, in-state foe to open up the 2025 season. Obviously, it's a huge task playing up to that type of weight class. What's your message so far to the team heading into Houston? And besides eyeing a win, what are some of the things you're hoping to accomplish heading into this tough road matchup?
I think the number one thing on a game like this, it's unnecessary evil in our world. Playing up. Not
I think maybe I can move up
classes,
there.
up to
I just want. I don't want to do it yet until they're done.
G5, and then there's Power 4, and this is a Power 4 program. They've got $20.5 million in their rev share NIL, which is that's $5 million more than we have in our whole entire athletic department. So that shows you kind of the task that we're up against and everything. But number one thing we want to do is get out of that game healthy, and want to go down there and walk off the field at 10 o'clock with our heads held high, with what we we're able to do, and all of us walk off the field on our own strength, meaning being healthy, and then turn the page to our FCS season. And one thing, again, I mentioned it earlier, you never know what you're going to be until you get out there and the bullets start flying. You can simulate, you can do game simulations, you can do different scenarios and situations, but getting out there and when the lights are on and you've got an opponent against you, a Big 12 opponent in this case, how are you going to play? When adversity strikes, how are you going to react? And so I hope that we can continue to be a better football team. We're a better football team at 10 o'clock than we were at 7 o'clock, 7:02 when that thing kicks off. And that's what you look for, and other than just staying healthy. But they are they're a Big 12 opponent. Coach Willie Fritz, very familiar with him. SFA is as well. He was a longtime coach at the school down southwest of here, and so I've had some battles there, but he's been very, very successful throughout his coaching career, and has brought in a lot of transfers. They've got, I think, 50-something new transfers, and then 3 new coordinators. From his first year, they went 4-8. Obviously, it wasn't the year they were looking for starting out, but we're able to retain some good players, add a bunch more, and make some changes that he felt needed on the staff. And so, as we're going into this one, that just poses another challenge for us. Is we've got 3 new coordinators to prepare for. Both our coordinators returned. I'm very thankful for that. First time that's happened since 2020, and after brought both coordinators back that year, we were able to end up in the playoffs. So I hope we've got some similar outcomes in that regard. But they've got all our film and all our signals and everything else to scout and be ready for us. We're watching all kinds of different films, different conferences at different levels, to figure out and try to get a game plan as to who these coordinators are, but also all these new transfers they have. You know, you can't go back and watch Houston film to see that four of their 5 starting O-linemen are brand new. So you can't go back to get a beat on those guys. You're having to pull up their tape from their previous schools, and that's kind of what you get in college football these days. So it requires a lot of work with our staff and our players, but they're excited again for the opportunity. Get to play down in Houston. That's right. We were able to make this game happen a few years ago. You know, you got to have a money game. That's why we're playing it. I hope their check cashes. But we're able to play right there in our school's footprint. We've got a lot of alums down there. A lot of our players are from there. I think we've got 25 or 30 players from the greater Houston area. So I mean, we're going to have a small sea of purple down there rooting us on, and guys are fired up for it. And coaches are too. So it's a great challenge. But you know what, get teed up, play the game. So you only get 12 of those opportunities. We're going to make the most of it.
Coach, you actually stole the last question out of my mouth. 30 plus athletes from that greater Houston area. Like you said, I'm expecting to see a purple.
Yeah, we've got, tickets are a commodity right now. We have so much in our allotment.
Pops was trying to ask you, when are you going to replace
There's
the
a bunch of
big
guys
TV?
trying to wheel and deal and get a few more tickets, but I mean,
How about
once they're gone, they're gone.
We need
But
to.
I do think
We made
we'll have
plans
a
to watch the
great
Thursday
turnout. I know
football
there's
game in
the
Houston.
we'll have
tailgate
one by
plans, alumni association, the school. There's a lot going on in this with it being right here in our own backyard. So looking forward to all the Lumberjack Nation coming out.
I'm just
and
going to go
supporting,
up there and get that
this team,
going on,
and
I
should be a
think.
fun night in Houston, Texas.
Awesome. That will pretty much do it here for head coach Kobe McCarthel. Anything else you want to throw to Jack Nation?
Chase, you've done a great job, man. I appreciate you sharing the stage with me on your first radio show. So let's give him a hand as we go to break. Ready?
Yeah!
Thank you guys so much. We'll be right back. This is the Lumberjack Sports Network. Come with you.